Good morning. It's good to have you join us on Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. My name is Merciful Ajinamo. We have a couple of headlines this morning on the front pages of the newspapers for today. Of course, it's the Nigerian newspapers, and we have Adebayo Fajimi joining us to analyze some stories. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
We begin from the Guardian newspaper. The big story is Kaduna train attack. Security threats rising, need new strategies, says Niger president rather. We have a couple of riders there. The first, Erufai states call for bombardment of forest inhabited by terrorists. And HURIWA, military's reluctance to deploy Tucano jet shows tolerance for terrorists. And then we see outburst by Erufai, Amechi confirmed complicity of APC leaders, PDP alleges. Amechi should apologize to Nigerians, resign. That's coming from Ajulo. And Shehu Sani rep want Nigerians to bear arms. Anxiety as police defuse bomb in Kaduna community. And of course, that particular story does resonate with, of course, the Punch newspaper, the big story they're talking about, Kaduna reign of terror. Terrorists kill 7 soldiers, NAF rains bombs on forest. And then our military gets approval to deploy Super Tucano DSS, please comb forest. Really, do you think what we need now is a change of strategy when it comes to fighting this issue of insecurity and terrorism?
Yes, no doubt about that. I think it was Zig Ziglar who said that you cannot expect you cannot be doing something over and over and
expect a different result.
So if what we have been if the strategy we have been we have deployed is not giving us the desired result, of course it's high time we redeploy new strategy, new technique to combat this many that is staring in our face. So I want to really support this president saying we need to deploy new strategy, new technique to ensure that we send these people out of our midst, because they don't really deserve to live, because this lawless killing, and every now and then it's high time we stop it. I really do agree with that.
Talking about the Super Tucano jets and military getting approval to deploy them, I know some Nigerians have argued that when these things happen, civilians' lives will also be affected, because these people, they leverage on the bush, the forest we have in the north, especially in the parts of the country where these things are happening. Do you think this Super Tucano jet are still supposed to be used to comb the forest when we still have civilians there?
Of course, it is part of the military hardware that we have, and it is what we have that we will use to fight. What we have been using before is not really giving us the desired result. But if we can deploy this, I think military personnel, have been trained, to in the usage of these hardwares and all of that. So I think before they can carry out such, a comb or such an attack, against a terrorist or bandit, as whatever we call it. Yeah. So they must have, they must have done, a very good surveillance, gather, a very strong intelligence before they launch the attack. So, but I still really believe that, this can be deployed to ensure that, this is really combated, and we cast them out in that from the dry desert.
All right, I do agree with you on that one. Of course, we see that story on the Punch newspaper on pages 2 and 8. And then underneath the pictures of the day, we see Oyo get NAF base marking the boost construction with 500 million naira. We have all the stories there. Money politics fraudsters hindering Nigeria since independence. That's coming from Peter Obi, and that's on page 18 of the Punch newspaper. Besides that, Beesmen pressure Osinbajo to join presidential race, getting impatient. It's still on page 18. And soldier crying for help in viral video absconded in battle, coming from army. We see that on page 8 of the Punch. And Ramadan, look out for New Moon Friday. NSCIA tells Muslims. We see that on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Caretaker lures Lagos police student into court. Victims flee school over threats. That's on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. And NIN SIM linkage, FG threatens enforcement as deadline expires. That's on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. And then, of course, we've spoken about the Daily Trust newspaper, but we see an update right there under the picture of the day. Bandits on rampage in Abuja, Kogi, Kaduna, kill 11 abduct customs officer, others in Zaria, Kaduna city resident G3 after bomb discovery. And then we move to, of course, the Nation newspaper. And the big stories there is fears mount over 136 people on attacked Abuja Kaduna train. From the very top, gunmen abduct customs official, 9 others in Kaduna. That's on page 6. 300 days rainfall to pound Lagos this year. 20 councils put on notice. Then we see Oyetola upgrades College of Education in Ilesha to university. What do you think the implication of this update is, talking about Governor Oyetola and this new development?
Yeah, the people of Ilesha in Osun State are requested for it, and they've just got what they requested for Mr. Governor. So while I want to say that's a very good, one, but another thing is, do the state, has the financial wherewithal to maintain this new institution, so to say, because it's College of Education Ilesha and that of Ila is the only two only colleges of education that we have where teachers are being trained. Now that is now excluded, that it is being upgraded to a full-fledged university. So where do we get the fund? How do we ensure that we maintain the standard, or the school operates at the international standard in such that whatever product that is coming out of there, because even as it's were now, I remember some years ago when I visited the university, when I visited the institution, I was so displeased with what I saw. So now the big question is, because we have Osun State University in with many campuses in some towns in the state. And Lautech is also there, even though Lautech is now completely owned by Oyo State government, but we still have, I think, Osun State Teaching Hospital or whatever. So the bone of contention is this not going to be a glorified secondary school? So, but if the government think or know enough that they have the wherewithal, the capacity to ensure that this school operates at the global standard, and whatever product that is they are churning out can compete anywhere in the world, of course there is nothing bad about it.
All right, that's on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. And then underneath that we see ex-NNPC GMD Yakubu cleared of laundering $9.8 million, and all of that story is on the Nation newspaper. And then we move quickly to the next newspaper we are analyzing today, of course, and that is the Leadership Friday. The big story is 2023 presidency, Northern PDP aspirant intensify plan to produce next president. And of course, that is on the page 4 of the Leadership Friday. We see 2 riders. The first, Tambuwal Bala Saraki Hayatuddin, take consensus campaign to IBB in Mina. And Nigeria's unity progress more important, says ex-military president. That's on that newspaper. On The Guardian, Kaduna train attack, security threats rising, need new strategy, says Niger president. I was spoken about this one already, which is on The Guardian newspaper. And we have a couple of other stories still on the Daily Trust newspaper. From the very top, we see Nigerians react as NFF sacks Super Eagles technical crew. That's on page 34 of the Daily Trust. And of course, that's coming after the second leg between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Black Stars of Ghana in Abuja, where, of course, it was 1-1 leading to a loss. Talking about the Qatar 2022 World Cup. It's still on that newspaper by the side. Driver dies as Lagos Kanu train derails in Kaduna. And defection, Kwara Assembly declares loyalist seat vacant. And then concern over recurring failure of foreign trained doctors. That's on page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And there are some other stories on the Punch newspaper. Right there from the very top, we see cash-strapped states grown, widen tax net, begin aggressive revenue generation, and underneath that, federal government to spend 2.3 trillion naira presidential fund on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, 3 others. That's on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. And don't forget, you can always stay updated on our website. That is www.tostvnetwork.com. TOSTV.com. And our social media handle is at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Many thanks for joining us today. Thank you so much, Adebayo, for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
And don't forget, you're going to have a wonderful weekend, and we'll be back again on Monday to continue from where we've stopped. Just stay updated always. Don't forget, stay safe and be good. Bye for now. I am Merciful Ajinomo.